Hi everybody, Kevin here. We're back with another episode of the Goose is Loose podcast. Thank you for listening, watching, wherever you may be getting this Gundam card game related content. Of course, please drop a like, sub if you haven't already. Help support the channel any way you can. I truly appreciate everybody listening to my unhinged thoughts on Gundam, especially for Gundam Card Game. So this episode is probably going to be a little bit shorter because honestly there's not really much to talk about in terms of the meta. We all know what it is. I'll talk about some deck lists that maybe have stood out to me. First one, of course, is from shout out again to Eggman for all the content he does. Truly appreciate what he does for the community. I think he's one of the commentators as well for the events going on in Dallas, right? Like Card Game Fest or whatever. I don't know why it's only in Dallas. Like I wish they would come here over the West Coast, but whatever. Anyways, we're gonna be taking a look at CyberNewtype full frontal version by Chase Horton. Shout out to them winning this Eggman triple winner box number 3. So this is their deck list. I guess a little bit of a spoiler. I'm gonna probably post it too, but I'm gonna post my deck list for the new type challenge, whatever. I'm just gonna post it, give y'all ideas, give me feedback. I guess in hindsight maybe it works out very well, but spoiler, kind of like good old Chase here, I did come to very similar conclusions for my deck list. I think obviously the only big real difference is that I'm not playing Grandpa and I'm not playing Shamblu, but it's a very similar kind of deck list in sense of like mindset, right? Where personally for me, Ping is really good against almost every matchup, but it just absolutely gets poo-pooed on by Wing Zero, right? Wing Zero, it's like once you pass that, say like level 6, when they start dropping Death Sight and stuff, you have really, really difficult times trading your units with their units. Like at that point, the only things maybe you can try to use to reliably take out like a Death Sight with Duo is like Kshatriya, right? Really, or maybe like a Unicorn destroy mode, Banshee destroy mode. Those are only really 2 options I can think of off the top of my head where you can get rid of like a fully linked Death Sight. And remember, they're probably gonna summon it like just not by itself. Obviously, they're gonna summon it with Duo so they can get the first strike bonus on it, and that means it's gonna just last on board like an additional turn and take out one of your units basically for free. So that really sucks. And like, around my meta, the top decks is just basically everybody playing Wing Zero. I think Wing Zero consistently gets undefeated or tops around my locals basically all the time. Like if you, I know because I played against them, so the most times when I lose is usually only to Wing Zero. And this is me playing like freedom block unicorn freedom blockers, and also like now experimenting with some kind of ping-esque deck, because I thought to myself, you know, if you're playing some kind of unicorn blocker variant, like it's just better to play Wing Zero, because Wing Zero will just be able to get the drop on you, clear your blockers, and then have an amazing late game. At that point, the only thing you could really rely on is just unicorn, right, to try to rest stuff. But even then, like Wing Zero is just so good that anytime you kind of pull up, like go wide in numbers, you can just drop it and you just lose. So that's my mentality for that, right? Wing Zero is obviously the most annoying matchup for me, so we'll go over their deck list for Chase. So they're playing 1, 2, what, 12, 12? Yeah, yes, 12, 1 drops. So that's good, that means aggressive. Playing good old, actually they're not playing any 3s, which is one that stands out to me besides, I guess, the Visalis, right? No playing Rizzo. Rizzo obviously is very standard. Great card for the value, because 4/3 means you can trade well with stuff like Sword Strike, which is prominent right now in the meta, or even Grandpa Gundam, right? You can do that. They're playing 4 copies of Kshatriya, which is not unusual, but obviously because they're playing full frontal means that it can link it fairly often. So I can see why they did that there. Tananju, I think, is at now, I guess, very underrated, because if you don't know that you can do 2 ping damage if you attack and destroy an enemy shield. So shield area with battle damage. So that means you can go attack shield and still get the 2 ping whatever to any kind of unit. And that adds up, obviously, if you have like Kshatriya, say on your turn 5, and then you play like your Sinanju the next turn. They're going to do like hypothetically, let's say 2 ping and then 2 more, and that's 4. That's enough to get rid of things. And remember that this one has high maneuver as well. So high maneuver means blockers can't block, and that's great. Then you have your finisher cards like Banshee Destroy mode and also like Shamblow, which to me I never really found that good to begin with, but I understand the stats and it also being somewhat of a pinger. I just think 8, if you play anything besides Wing Zero, you're probably gonna get screwed. So obviously I feel it's like a meta call. I just think that instead of, well, for my build, like I don't play Shamblow. I play just extra copies of other cards so I can have a much more consistent like game overall rather than just like trying to rely on like late game. So this is just an incredibly interesting deck list. They're not playing any command cards at all, so that proves like you don't really need resolve or the one card with Goose, right? You don't need to play those cards to try to top. So congrats to them, of course. Chase Horn, congratulations for managing the top with playing Sinanju and Shamblu, and somehow this probably psychically ruining your opponent. Like just you're like, what is this card? And you just put them in Shamblos, right? Shout out Shamblo, shout out puns. Anyways, we'll go over the next deck list that I found somewhat interesting. This is another version of CyberNewtype, which was second place. So we have a lot of CyberNewtype that managed the top. That's really interesting to me. I do want to see the overall color breakdown, right? See, 18 blue red, 18 green white, blue white. Yep, everybody's playing Wing Zero and Ping. Those are probably the three best decks at the moment. So are they playing any spice and some of the stuff? So shout out to Derek Ling for winning. They're playing Normie Grandpa Gundam. It being a 2-drop matters because then you can play like command cards as well, so that's great. It means you can probably play like an additional 1-drop or something like that, or even you play like Angsha, so you can do the Ping, and then you also get Grandpa Gundam. And really, the only benefit for that is that you want something to link with Amado, right? Because once Amado is paired, and then it's able to rest units, and that's great. So I think that's the spice here. Anything else super stand out to me? Not really, right? I think this is fairly standard deck list. It's like instead of playing Kshatriya, you're just playing Grandpa Gundam instead. Because then you compare Amaro, and I guess that means you get the link bonus attack thing going on instead of Kshatriya, which is kind of like underwhelming a little bit. Right? Kshatriya, like would you rather have something linked with Amaro or Marita? Probably with Amaro. But then you have additional options to have link as well. That makes sense, right? Playing Marita here, and then also the Banshee Destroyer mode, so that means your only units you want to link with are also with your pilot, so it works out. Very clean deck list. Can't complain there, right? Shout out to them. And then there's one more I did want to see. Well, look at Xeon aggro, because you never see Xeon like ever top. So shout out to Rowan. Rowan Silman Herbert. Justin Herbert beat the Raiders on Monday Night Football. Anyone watch sports? Nobody watches sports. It's crazy. Anyways, here's the deck list. We're gonna see for Dop Doop. I get it. You play Xeon, it's a body, 1-drop, easy. You have something on turn 1 and you go forced to go first. Which I would guess that if you go, most likely the only deck that would really want to go first anyways is Xeon Rush, right? Just Doop. Get more value out of that, obviously. Otherwise, fairly standard deck list. Nothing super duper crazy, I think, to me. Big Zam. Big Zam's able to do breach and they deal 4 damage to all blocker units, which means poo-poo's on Wing Gundam, because most of the time you're gonna play like blockers in your deck. Basically, poo-poo's on blockers anyways because of Char. Mining Astra Palau, yep. 6 health, that's all it basically serves. Foul Mill means you get a token. Personally, I feel that the other base is probably a little bit better, because then you can rest. Like, this gets value out of it, obviously, if your opponent manages to like burst one of the shields, right? So then it's deployed. Oh, and if it's your turn, oh, never mind. Yeah, I don't know. I think I would rather prefer the other one, the Zanzibar, because Zanzibar means you can at least special summon a level 4 or lower, like Xeon unit thing. That means you can get like a free Gelgoog. Remember, Gelgoog is probably the best Xeon card in the game right now, because it's able to recycle your Char, meaning you get like high maneuver shenanigans, and that's great. Because the only one I can think of at the time, like I always say, that you can recycle stuff is just Goose and, in a sense, Unicorn, because once it gets destroyed, you can try to pitch a card to get Baniji back to your hand. I mean, Fortress Defense, I guess, it acts like a name for the command card, right? In testing, I don't think the deploy 2 Zaku tokens like ever came up. Plus, it seems kind of underwhelming. And they're also playing the normal Zaku Uno either, so interesting. I'm sure there are VODs of this stuff, so I can like watch it, and I'll give you guys my thoughts on that as well. But you know, congratulations to them playing Zeon. Zeon obviously is a natural counter to late game decks because then you're able to just rush them completely, and then maybe the blockers can't keep up. But I think efficiently, if you play good, like if you're a good player, you can easily try to stop a Zeon aggro. And also remember that this is a key point that I always like to stress to people sometimes, including myself, is that maybe try not to get tilted too much, because it's best of one this game, right? And there's too many variables for you to try to even keep it like consistent. So this is my opinion. Don't feel too bad if like you just completely get turned up on some stupid thing, like you try to attack your opponent's final shield card and it ends up bursting and it was like a base. Like she just looks on your side, buddy. So those are only really deck lists I want to talk about. I'm sure I briefly mentioned about Japanese meta. Japanese meta is very different because, like I said, for some reason, no, not for some reason, I guess they just don't like playing green white at all compared to here in like Western, you know, Western countries where we all love Wing Zero, Gundam Wing. I'm sure it's very nostalgic to a lot of people, including me. But they just choose to play a much more aggro, like a much more aggro meta overall, and that's why Freedom Blockers in their country is like so good, because obviously it's a natural counter to aggro. Feels like a coin flip kind of match, right? Where if aggro is able to rush you and you don't have enough blocker, you're screwed. But if you have enough blocker, you build up the wall. There's no way for them to really break through, except with Char shenanigans. But you only have 4 Char, so that's why you gotta max out on your Rick Doms, or maybe you gotta try to max out on your Goose and stuff like that. So this is just pure rush right here. Yep. That's what we know. All right. Now we'll probably look at Market Watch, right? We'll look at Market Watch. So this is Marvel Spider-Man. Don't buy the card. No, I'm just kidding. We're not gonna do that. I don't think there's any really big card reveals that I think are worth mentioning yet. I know they revealed like the Gundam Age thing, but I'm gonna be honest and say like I don't know anything about Gundam Age. I'm not gonna try to speculate and say like, oh, this card is so good, so card is so bad, but we'll go in here. Let's look at Iron Bloom. Are you able to get into Iron Bloom? I'm not. I'm sad. Nobody around my area is able to get in like early unless you were there to sign up. Some places I know are only getting 6 starter decks, so RIP. I don't know. I guess unfortunately Bandai thought their card game was gonna fail for whatever reason. Right? Who would have thought like you try to make a good game and then you don't expect anybody to try to play it? You thought it would be like good but not like popular, I think is what they didn't expect. So Iron Bloom, it's like impossible to get probably for most people. I'm just trying to stick with the decks I have at the moment. I think Iron Bloom, obviously, like I mentioned in my previous video going over the deck and the cards, that I speculate you're gonna see a lot of synergy between purple and white, obviously because it's like the best color overall, where you can try to do like blockers, and since blockers have high health, you'll probably be able to ping them easily, or pair them with like stuff that repairs itself. For example, Sayla I see in the foreseeable future probably going up in price, because then people will obviously gravitate towards it, because Sayla, remember, she's able to repair if you have a blue unit. So you play like purple and blue, that's not too bad. You play Federation, they have inherent like repair, and then you can boost your purple units. And remember with Amaro, you can like rest stuff, you go bop it, anything. And like I theoretically said, with a certain amount of cards, you could hypothetically get a 9-6 Barbados on turn 9-4, excuse me, 9-3 or 9-2, something like that, something ridiculous on turn 4, because you have the command card that can give you boosties. I believe it's 3 if it's damaged, and then you have the card that damaged itself, so that means it'll go down to like 2, and then You have the field spell base card that's able to add 2 if the thing is damaged, so that's like 9. That's crazy. Anyways, it's because yeah, 4 plus 3 plus 2. There you go. 9. It's quick math. We're gonna look at new type rising, of course. I don't think anything's gonna be crazy. Like moving up, moving down. Everything's obviously on the down low because everybody got the cards they need. Looking. I'm trying to get freedoms. I'm hoping they're dropping, but it looks like all arts are gonna probably stabilize right now. Like Sailor right now is like $16. Dang, this card. Not market advice whatsoever. Remember, it's not financial advice whatsoever. But I mean, Sailor, right? It's very obvious. Like she's gonna recover 1 HP every turn. If you ping stuff, then you pay that cost technically, right? And then you'll be able to get the bonus. And then at the end of the turn, it's gonna heal, and then you just get it for free, basically. But at the same time, like, I don't really think HP would matter too much against your kind of decks if you're playing purple and blue. So that's just my opinion. I think they're slightly going up. Landed sales like what, $17? Latest one's not 18. Is there a big wall of China? No. I guess some you know, terrible person wanted to just buy out everything they possibly could and then put the market there. But there's no reason because nobody at the moment plays Sailor anyways, right? If you're playing any kind of blue pilot, you're playing Amuro, and that's basically it, right? Anybody else I think of that's blue? No, not really. Nobody plays Zex. Nobody plays Zex. I guess Banerjee. Banerjee's the other one, right? But if you play Banerjee, then you're probably gonna play Unicorn. So that's like basically almost a different build overall. Overall, I don't think anything super crazy like moving past. Most expensive card right now, Kshatriya, which I did get packs at Tarjay. And I managed to get my bell pepper, another one. Shout out DJ Khaled. I already have my copies, but it's cool to have trade fodder, right? I mean, that's what I appreciate about Gundam. It's like I have I can make basically all the meta decks with trades and everything. Like I'm sure I can find people who are trying to get rid of their Wing Zeros or Depth Size because they think like cringe playing the same game over and over is boring. I'm pretty sure I can do that. Wow, Destroyer mode's down to $7. What happened? People were just bored. Everybody got their cardboard, right? That's how it is. Just keep it simple. No, nothing's crazy. Nothing's gonna drop out. Everybody just wants their starter decks. Yeah, that's basically all I can really speculate about in terms of just things moving up and down. We'll look at, I guess, promo cards too, because new type challenge is out. People want to bling out their decks and stuff, but then you kind of bling out like Soletta and Ariel. Like, who really plays those cards, right? So I think people are trying to sell them, but who's really buying? That's what I want to ask. So we have one for $115. Sure. We have one for $639. I don't think anything else is crazy, is there? Yep. That's basically it. I think this one comes as a participation card. Is that correct? I don't know. Let me check. Now 25 mission 1. Again, I don't even think I'm able to get into mine, so don't feel too bad. Let's see. Event, blah blah blah, format change, blah blah blah, 32 players per event. Lottery. This will be given the winner, yep. Top 4. All participants receive the participation prize at the end of the event. Dang, that's really cool. Man. Gang, my locals is just like cap. There's like 100 people on the wait list. There's 64 people already signed up, including me, but you know, I think it's gonna be like a lottery system, so I doubt I'm gonna be able to play anyway, so who cares, right? But it's nice to talk about. I mean, it's a cool card. I don't Gundam Wish for Mercury. Like, whether I see Lacuse or I say Mio, I don't know. Good card, cool card. Don't expect too much. It's gonna crash. Look, it was like $64. Now it's like 18. What's so expensive card? Besides that, like tournament winner cards, I guess. I mean, there's gonna be them flooding the market. It's a 4-off in white decks. If you want to play Witch from Mercury stuff, you can. But I don't really care too much about that kind of stuff anyway. So you know, it's Kira. Yeah, Kira's a shiny. This is the only shiny Kira you can get aside from the starter deck one. So you want like a shiny Kira that's an alt art, an option. Look at that dip, boop, and then one boop, and then now it's like stabilize again. And all right, cool. This is a really short podcast. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to really say in terms of just Gundam card game related stuff. Yeah, just if you have new type challenges, let me know how it goes. Yeah, be looking forward to my deck list of CyberNewtype ping. So please be looking out for that video coming out very soon. I'll show my deck list, so hopefully you can improve from that as well and get some ideas. Because, like I said, CyberNewtype is good against almost every matchup, but once you have the clock against Wing Zero, which is my meta predominantly, like you're just screwed. Like there's no hope. They just build out the wall. You can't really ping units too much because they're high big booty stuff. You got stuff like Air Strike and Sword Strike just putting your stuff back to hand, so it's bad anyway. So it's tough out there. But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This is a short one. I know. I'm sorry. Not really much to say right now at the moment. I'm just gonna leave it at that. So thank you so much for watching or listening. Bye.